It's not dying today.
Cheers, buddy. And that is where it might happen if we do.
If you don't see this video, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Bottom in the river.
You can see all the landslide possibilities on that route. As the sun comes down, starts to melt it there. Where does the ice start?
Right here.
And it's just all ice? You do not want to slip and fall here. That must be where it shoots down from. The most dangerous part of this entire trek through the Annapurna Circuit was the route to Tilicho Lake. And that is where something came down the landslide. On the way, we had already lost one friend to altitude sickness, and by the end, only 2 of us actually made it all the way up to the highest lake in the world, Tilicho Lake.
Don't share any of my other snacks, these are just special.
Yeah, I love your chocolate. I had to scourge you for one singular piece of chocolate.
Day 8, tensions are high. Welcome to Traveling with Eve.
I'll let you know when it's gonna happen.
Put her in some like a seal in the zoo.
No comment, that's what I thought.
Is it good though?
It's pretty good.
With our group already whittled down to only 3 members, the hardest part of the entire trek was still to come. Now, not only was it one of the hardest parts, but it was also one of the most dangerous. In the last week, 2 people had actually passed away on this route. One was a local Nepalese Sherpa, and the other was a 71-year-old Israeli man. And this had happened because on the route that we were taking to get to Tilicho Lake, you had to walk through one of the most dangerous landslide areas in the entire Annapurna Circuit. Now, deaths on the Annapurna Circuit are really not that common. I'm not trying to scare you or get you to not do this trek, but it had happened recently.
We've had 2 deaths over there in the past 2 weeks.
Okay.
Sherpa and an Israeli guy 2 days ago.
And it was very shocking for us to hear this. It became a lot more real. It felt not like we were just doing some sort of adventure or some hike. It felt now that there was some serious consequences to the decision for us to actually do this trek. Things could go wrong, but the 3 of us did decide to keep going. Now, one thing that was very interesting and very exciting to see about this part of the trek was that it happened to be going on during one of the local Nepalese holidays, Tihar, the Festival of Lights. And what this did was it brought Nepalese people from all over Nepal to come and do this hike. So while at the beginning of our trek we had been one of the few trekkers on the route to Tilicho Lake, it was busy and we met lots of people along the way. Some of them who took, well, a liking to Eve more than others.
Witness sister.
Yeah. The boys, you get a lot of attention, Eve, eh? Is she single? Did you find out? But with this influx of trekkers also came some issues. We had trouble finding places to stay, and we had to book ahead for the first time in our entire trek. I made it. Hello. Yeah, we have a reservation for Evan. 3 people, yeah. Awesome, thank you. But luckily, after being turned away a couple times, we were able to find a place to stay, because that morning we had to get up at 5 a.m. in order to beat the sun and to get to Tilicho Lake. Tomorrow, go up right into there. The highest lake in the world. And so we began this treacherous part of our journey, this dangerous part of the trek, one of the most dangerous parts. We were sick, and we were cold, and we were tired, but it had to be done. How's your chest doing? Today's the day where we go to the highest lake in the world. At just over 4,900 meters. It's gonna be freezing. It's about 5 a.m. right now. We woke up before the sunrise. We got about a 5-hour hike to Tilicho Lake, if I'm saying that right. It's going to be a little bit dangerous. A few days ago, an Israeli guy actually died to a landslide up there. So we have to get up early and go early before the wind and the sun starts to melt the ice. starting to get very real. People have died trying to go through here. All loose rock, rubble. That's a rock side chute. The open spots of the landslide area were the most dangerous. Where you were safe was tucked under these rocks that held up against the landslide. And so what we would do is we would go from rock cluster to rock cluster, and the stretches in between were the most nerve-wracking places to be. It was an incredibly challenging part, and we hadn't even gotten to the hardest part yet. We hadn't even gotten to the climb to Tilicho Lake, the place where we were going to almost 5,000 meters in altitude. Now we just have to see if we can make it on the way back, or if we do that tomorrow morning.
Because the guy died on his way back.
Is that what happened? But when we made it, when we'd left the landslide area behind us, we had to find a place to stay in the base camp. And once again, we struggled and took more time off of this trek than we wanted to. Do you guys have rooms tonight?
No.
No rooms tonight?
Sorry.
And do you know if in base camp they have any rooms?
I don't know about that.
Because at the top of Tilicho Lake was also landslide areas. On that trek up to the top of Tilicho, there were still places where you had to be careful, where when the sun came out, as the day stretched on and began to melt more and more snow and ice, things could start to fall, rocks could start to fall. So we had to go quickly, we had to push on. So as we went up to Tilicho Lake, we realized that we were late. While there were still quite a few trekkers going up to Tilicho Lake at this point, we were one of the few that were still going to do it. And because of this, we were in a little bit of a hurry. And that might have been what caused something to go wrong. When we were just over 4,500 to 4,600 meters, Leo started experiencing some altitude sickness symptoms. Now these symptoms came in the form of a headache, he was short of breath, and he didn't feel like he could go on. So as a group, we gave him some altitude medication, and he decided to walk back down to base camp and hopefully recover and feel better so that he could continue on the next day. But that left just me and Eve to go all the way to Tilicho Lake to conquer the last part of our high altitude training. We can do it. The highest lake in the world was never going to be easy. Somewhere up there. The going was rough, it was hard. People all around us struggled. Locals from Kathmandu, from Pokhara, from all over Nepal were with us, struggling to get to this Tilicho Lake. It's pretty pretty though, isn't it? The hardest part is over. Now flat from here on out. How you holding up? Good. We're almost there. Let's crush it out. Nice and easy. The air was thin, and when we went up, this is where you could really tell that the oxygen was just not fully there. At 5,000 meters of altitude, there's only an 11% effective oxygen intake. And boy oh boy, we felt it. But as we came over the top, where it flattened out and there was only a short 20 to 30 minute hike to Tilicho Lake, stumbling like a bunch of drunks, you can definitely feel the effects in your head a lot more. Almost like you're like slightly drunk.
I know.
You can see everyone just kind of stumbling around a little bit. We could see our end destination. We could see everything that we'd worked to, the reason why we had gone through these most dangerous parts of the Annapurna Circuit. And that reason was to see one of the highest lakes in the world. Made it to the highest lake in the world. It definitely wasn't easy. We lost 2 people along the way. One in Manang and the other on the way up to Tilicho Lake. But we made it. It's hard to breathe. Almost at 5,000 meters, 4,920 something. Oof. Can't even think properly right now. That's beautiful and worth it. I think it's over 16,000 feet. I don't know the exact amount in feet. 100% worth it. On our way back from the highest lake in the world, just resting for about 20 minutes already made us feel so much more used to the altitude. Got a lot more energy. How's your head feel?
Oh, my head feels good.
Feels so much better. We were struggling for sure on the climb up, but resting, having a tea, hanging out for a little bit.
I was like stumbling all over the place.
Yeah, we feel way, way better now. So much nicer. We got a much shorter decline now, and we're gonna go check on Leo. Hopefully he's feeling better after his little altitude sickness stint, but we got a lot left to do, and this is a great test for the pass. The pass is gonna be about, what, 500 meters?
Yeah, 500 higher.
500 meters higher, so, you know, we felt really comfortable once we hung out. I was a little bit worried climbing up. It was definitely a struggle, but once we kind of acclimatized at the top, I feel really confident with the pass. So,
I was struggling for a sec.
yeah, we just gotta breathe and take our time, and this is no joke.
Yeah, it is serious.
I think maybe we underestimated how much altitude impacts you a little bit, but that's I guess why we do the day hikes first.
Yeah.
It's been good. All right, now to go get some food. I'm starving. We're on our way down. We were way down along there today. Are you farting around?
Yeah, he's farting.
What are you doing, Eve?
Just ripping ass.
No more farting around.
Just gotta go wrangle the horses.
Are they good horses?
Yeah.
All right. Today's the day we do the pass.